Providence. So welcome everybody. This is going to be an awesome jam-packed program for 3.5 hours. This first half hour, every week we open up our Venture Cafe Thursday programming with informal conversations with me, Rhode Island's economic gardener. And we have people in the audience that I usually call out to talk about what's going on, exciting programs they might have coming up that are relevant to either today's programming or that's going on in Rhode Island ecosystem. Today we actually collaborated with our sister site Venture Cafe Cambridge to cross promote this. As everybody knows, Cambridge also has a very robust esports community, so we're hoping to get some of our Cambridge community over here to hear all about what's going on in Rhode Island. And welcome. So this is, as I said, super informal conversation with me, and we're going to be, just calling out people who are here today. Why don't you, let's see, why don't we call on you first to talk about esports, Ready Up Rhode Island, give a brief overview to those that just popped in, and then we'll start calling out people to talk about what they're up to in this space.
Sure. So thanks so much, Tuni. My name is Siu-Li Khoe. I'm Vice President of Rhode Island Commerce, focusing on business and technology. And I have the distinct pleasure today of focusing on esports. Just have been moonlighting as well as the Executive Director in VR. So I see this as a really authentic crossover for media, technology, and a lot of fun for this community. I am joined today, and I want to focus a little bit on the 11:30 informal time on Dana Paul from Ritual Motion and Jack Vandervelde from Helix eCenters. Jack, maybe you want to start. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and maybe because this is super informal, half an hour, can you show us a little bit about where you are?
Absolutely. So I'll do my best over Zoom. As you guys know, a few people have met on this call. I do love giving tours of these centers, probably too much at this point, but I'll kind of do a walkthrough. So what you're looking at right here is our Foxborough Patriot Place in Massachusetts location. I said this briefly before, but I know some people have joined since then. We started our first one in New Jersey, and we're fortunate to have a pretty good run there and got in contact with the Crafts. Who were getting into esports. Well, I shouldn't say they were getting into it. They were kind of leading the charge and pioneering the Overwatch League and franchising that traditional model of, obviously they own the Revolution, the Patriots, and they were the first to buy into the Overwatch League, which is the Boston Uprising right here. So behind this wall here, the season's over right now, so they're kind of in their off season. But you can see the rosters right there. Behind this wall is their entire practice facility. Along with up there is their administrative offices and their academy teams. But they knew they were going to do a esports build out here. They'd heard about what we were doing in New Jersey, and us being Boston natives as well. We got in contact with them and ended up opening a 10,000 square foot esports facility here. So we have 110 high-end gaming computers, dedicated fiber internet. We have 6 virtual reality racers on the other side. Over there, if the light wasn't so bad, you could see it. And then we have a main stage over here. And I probably am going to miss quite a few events, so please feel free to ask some questions. But we kind of break our business down here into a few different pillars. We have our quick play, which kind of our joke. It's our butts and seats. It's just utilization. It's pretty simple. It's people come in, they rent by the hour. They use if they've never played on a gaming computer before, or say they don't have this kind of rig at home, this is their first opportunity with that. And that's birthday parties, bachelor parties, people just walking in and renting. Our second pillar is competitive tournaments. So it's probably a little more digestible if you think about just Smash tournaments. I noticed that Dana was talking about that, Fortnite events, Call of Duty, Magic the Gathering, any game that can be played competitively. We host those events here, and we believe a lot in the kind of amateur to pro pipeline. That's something that we've put a lot of resources behind. I think esports early on, and rightfully so, kind of went top down. They started with the large events, and there was really no, you see FaZe Clan playing or you see Cloud9, how do you get to those teams, or how do you kind of build up a resume other than winning events online? And we had some good success in our first 2 years opening of identifying players that were very talented, perhaps weren't getting the opportunities. And I'm sure William will talk about that more later. Our partners at Genji played a huge role in that. And then of course we have just our basic tournaments for people looking to compete. Our third kind of avenue of business around here is the professional boot camps. So with Logan Airport and JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark being major markets, major market airports, a lot of teams will be flying in from Australia, Europe, Asia, coming to play in events here, but they want to get in here early, adapt to the time zone and boot camp. As I'm sure you guys know, renting out probably an Airbnb with dedicated fiber internet is I mean, renting out an Airbnb in general is not cheap in those markets, let alone getting the infrastructure for gaming is very expensive. So they'll rent our facilities out as kind of boot camps. For example, the Fortnite World Cup was in Brooklyn last year. We had, I think, of the 180 qualified players or around that. We had 110 boot camp at our center. We've had Cloud9 in there for 6 months. We've had FaZe Clan, Energy. We've been fortunate enough to have some of our favorite players come in and we get to work with them. And then lastly, education and STEM, something we were very passionate about early on. Growing up, I grew up in Wellesley, Massachusetts. I was fortunate enough to have access to things like this and an Xbox and a gaming rig, but I mean, it's no surprise that not everyone has that kind of equitable access, and there definitely is. We hear more about it now within the COVID era of this kind of digital divide. So it was something that we were early on very passionate about, was bringing STEM and education to these centers. So those are kind of our 4 pillars there: quick play, competitive boot camps with the professionals, and then the education as well. And I guess the 5th is food, but that's pretty simple. That's just wings and pizza and a lot of Mountain Dew. As you can imagine, whatever a gamer eats, we have it here at our restaurant as well. So hopefully that helps, and please feel free to ask as many questions as you would like, as I live and breathe this. So I pretty much, I tend to gloss over a lot of important details.
I love your energy, Jack. It's so authentic. How has COVID impacted? Like, are you still getting people in there? Like, how can we send people to you? And we want to give you a shout out and get people in there.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, so as you can imagine, like a lot of retail businesses early on, COVID was not a friend of ours, but I don't think it was of many people. So early on, we shut down like a lot of retail businesses, and then once we got the clear from the state of Massachusetts and state of New Jersey, we noticed it was our core community that had been already returned. It was, I think, for us, the biggest hurdle was getting new customers in, people who knew us and were part of our events before, and that were comfortable going out, we're pretty confident coming back. Our kind of joke in our center was we really didn't have to change our COVID procedures much, because pre-COVID, I think our customers kind of perceived us as a bit annoyed or over the top when it came to our cleaning procedures. But that's just what we believed in pre-COVID. So when COVID hit, fortunately, we had a lot of that infrastructure in play in terms of the disinfecting and cleaning the stations. I'm not going to obviously bore you guys with that. Everyone knows how that works. But our regulars and our community was pretty receptive to coming back. And then it was a bit of a grind at the beginning to get new users back. But I think a lot of people, and probably like a lot of people in this call, they were eager to get out. They wanted to get back to normal. And once they kind of bought into our system and how we were doing things over here, we had our first event going. It's actually, you can see over there, I don't know if it's going to zoom in, it's a leaderboard over there. That's a Fortnite event.
For anyone that has it on gallery view, I recommend when Jack's doing this, you put it on speaker view so you get a better view of the space. I'm going to do it right now because I have it on gallery.
Yeah, and if you go to helixesports.com, the first few photos you'll see of our locations. But it was just adapting is kind of the key word there. For example, our Fortnite events that before were these large 100 people all in one room packed on top of each other, which back then was exciting. Now that seems like a nightmare. We had to pivot. So we introduced a thing called the Social Distance Showdown, where it's these week-long solo events where you come in, obviously social distance, you're not with people, you come in alone, you play by yourself, and you're competing over a week against everybody else, and at the end of the week there's a winner. I think the analogy that we found the thing kind of closest to it was, imagine you go to a golf course, you're all playing on the same course, same week, same weather, but you shoot your score on a Monday, your competitor can come in on Tuesday, someone can come on Thursday. As long as by Sunday night you have your score into the pro shop, then that's kind of it. So we found that here. Then obviously Massachusetts and New Jersey were two of the hardest hit states, so we weren't able to open up for like even like 25% capacity for a while. So we adapted and we built these events and worked with the guys at Genji and some of our software developers, and so far it's been good, but it's definitely been a challenge. And of course, virtual reality is big for us as well, and that's very hands-on. So we found ways to bring in TVs for the racers instead of doing the masks. Obviously, gloves and hand sanitizing is a big portion of that. So I think like a lot of retail businesses, we were definitely challenged by it. But I can tell you on behalf of Helix, we have no intentions of slowing down. So it's just finding ways to work around it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yulia, our sister site in Cambridge, our team is here, and we're doing today's programming in collaboration with Venture Cafe Cambridge. They pushed out all this too. So we're hoping to get a combined audience today. And Siu-Li, loving all this energy. I feel like there are people, right? We all have so much energy. This is great. And speaking to that, everybody pay attention to the chat because it's already robust. And Jack, someone had a question. I'm not sure if it's for you. Douglas posted in here. I saw that up if you scroll up a little bit. But Yulia, why don't you talk about the esports community in Cambridge quick and what you're thinking for November?
Yeah, so we are so inspired by the topic today you're putting in Providence, and we're so happy to support the marketing efforts. And after speaking with Siu-Li and others, we started thinking, and it was actually Claudia's idea, so Claudia's here. And
Hi, Claudia.
that we organized something like this in Cambridge as a follow-up. And I remember we had a conversation about having a session on like parents and stigma associated with being a gamer and all of that.
I'm a parent of a gamer. I'm sending him to Jack.
So it's really affecting a lot of people. So if you will be up for it, let me know and we can get together and discuss. And if anyone in the audience would like to participate in that one, we are planning it on November 5th, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to discuss more.
Yulia, drop your email in the chat so people can reach out to you too, okay? Awesome. All right, Siu-Li, I saw Joe Devine on here.
Yeah, I think
Siu-Li and I are both on the board of Tech Collective, our Rhode Island tech organization. And we need you guys. You guys are awesome potential mentors for one of the programs we're passionately committed to. Joe, can you just, I know we're eating up time and we have more people we want to call out, but if you can just for a few minutes explain the PTech program and give a shout out about the mentors we're looking for.
I sure can, and want to thank both you and Siu-Li. I also see Jacques Laflemme is on the call as well, another board member of Tech Collective. Awesome to see everybody here. Yeah, we, PTech, we're in our 5th year supporting PTech, which is a program that allows high school students to work for their associate's college degree while they're in high school. And Tech Collective has been supporting the Providence PTech, which operates out of the PCTA, the Career Tech Academy for Providence, for a long time. We're serving our state's, the biggest need for our students is in Providence, and trying to get them into tech careers. We've been serving them for 4 years. We've had mostly one-on-one mentors for those 4 years. This year, another school closed, so we have a much larger class in our PTech program. We have a real big need this year for more mentors. We've got probably a need for another 100 mentors this year because of an incoming freshman class and 65 or so students from sophomores to juniors moving over. Because of COVID, it's all virtual this year, but we still have some awesome activities we're planning. We're looking for ideally technology professionals to mentor an inner city student. Takes about 30 minutes a week in a virtual meeting. It's not a very large ask. Let me, I will copy in the link to our application page on our website. But you also, we've got some times up there. If you want to learn more than this 2-minute talk has done, you can check out. We have these once or twice a week. We're doing these presentations to talk more about what's necessary. But you don't even have to do that. Just click, be a mentor. It's these students that we're working with are really the most at risk in our community. We really need more women and BIPOC community members to join the technology industry workforce. So that's what we have in Providence. 87% of our students are from the BIPOC community. 97% are getting free or reduced lunch. I mean, these are the students that need your input the most. And you do not have to be a polished person to be a mentor to a high school student. You really have, but you'll be surprised how much you have to give no matter who you are in technology. So I'll put the link in when I get done talking.
Awesome.
Please click on it and apply.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for all you're doing for the tech community in Rhode Island. And I have to call you out, Dana, my friend. I love all that your company represents, your organization. Can you talk about it a little bit? And Siu-Li, hold it up.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to congratulate everybody and welcome to the first Industrial Revolution meeting. We're really excited what we're going to do and make kind of Rhode Island the epicenter of esports. So thank you for all coming. Congratulations. Tuni, thank you. I think what I'll do really quickly, I'll give a Reader's Digest version of what led us here today.
Do most people know what Reader's Digest is?
I was going to say that. So most people that don't know what Reader's Digest, you don't have to Google it. I'll give you a really short, abbreviated version of how this all started. So my kids and family have been into esports forever. So 2 years ago, I came home one day, and as always, my kids were downstairs with a bunch of their friends, and they were watching on TV. And I asked them, I said, "What are you watching?" And they're like, "Oh, we're watching the Boston Uprising in an Overwatch match." And I said, "Boston Uprising?" And they were like, "Well, that's Bob Kraft's team who just spent $22 million to be part of this league." So a light bulb went off in my head. And then all of a sudden I realized this was the first time I've ever seen esports played in a large screen. And I'm looking and I'm saying, wow, there's a lot of repetitive hand motion going on. So I asked a bunch of teenagers and young 20-something-year-olds a really silly question: is, does your hands hurt after you play video games? And they all said yes. So serendipity would have it, I was consulting for a medical device company that brought to the market 20 years ago a therapeutic medical device glove for manufacturing. So if you think about manufacturing, there's a lot of repetitive hand motion in manufacturing. So I went in, got a bunch of these gloves, gave them to my kids and their friends, and I said, "Let me know what you think." A couple weeks came by. I said, "What'd you think?" And my oldest son was like, "Dad, they're really friggin' ugly. Sorry, but that's exactly what he said." If you can imagine, it was a medical device and it looked ugly. And from a gamer's perspective, we have some ideas. So I then, with my co-founder, Bill Caesar, we went to the manufacturer and we said, "We have an idea here." We reconstructed, redesigned the whole entire glove, which we call a skin now. And we figured out a way to do dye sublimation on these skins. So now gamers who are very individual and personalized and want their own gaming tag on their skin, they can, right? So we don't have to order 5,000 pairs of skins. Siu-Li is holding up a pair that we're doing for Breast Cancer Awareness Month this month, and those proceeds go to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. But as we started doing a deeper dive, we realized there's a lot more with health and wellness. So we did this past November, we did an Indiegogo campaign just to gain social awareness. We met our goal within 2 hours of that campaign. And we started going deeper into the idea of health and wellness. No one was paying attention to it, and I use the analogy, it's like the NFL. So the NFL knew concussions were going on forever, but they didn't talk about it. So in esports, no one is talking about mental wellness, right? We don't talk about that in general, right? This whole idea of being tilted, right? No one's talking about wellness and health in general in esports, right? And how to approach it. So we decided at that point as a company that we're going to have 3 main filters that everything goes through. That's authenticity. So you have to be authentic and understand the community and what their needs are. So we always say we ask, we listen, and we deliver. So we ask the community, we listen to what they say, and then we deliver. And that deliver may be content, it may be gaming skins, it may be blue light glasses, but we did deliver what their needs are. And then we really wanted to focus on health, wellness, and education and make sure that it always touches mind, body, and soul. So we started being really content focused. And that content came in a bunch of different ways. We have content from blogs, from posts. We started a webcast in June called RMTV. And on that webcast, we had everyone from a neuroscientist that actually talked about the effects of gaming and how it affects the brain, right? So if all of us right now ran on a soccer field for an hour, we'd feel great, a little tired, but endorphins would be released. If we all played video games for an hour and we had a really bad hour of playing video games, where does that stress go? Where does that tension go? So we talked about that. We had nutritionists come on RMTV. We actually had a Swanee come on and talk about mindfulness, right? The importance of, while the game is resetting, to take a few moments and just to be mindful for yourself, right? So health and wellness and education has really been the tip of the spear for us. And we're really excited. We have a couple of folks that will be on today. Liz Murphy, who came from a very big publishing background, who is now our CMO, and Crystal Mills, who is a gamer and came from a writing background also, who's our VP of content. So they'll be chatting a little bit more on that. But I'm just really excited and honored to be part of this panel with everybody here. And it's going to be a great day.
Thanks, Dana. Thank you for all you've done to pull this together too. And, you know, for what you're focusing on. I think it's important. And I love that we're all supporting our kids that are gamers, right? I love my 18-year-old gamer. He's the bomb. So Siu-Li, we have a special guest that's going to help us kick off the next 3 hours of, you know, of our awesome esports programming. So I'm going to hand it over to you early, sister. This is your show. You've been working with us on this. You, Amy, and I have had our heads together since January. And of course, the world turned upside down, which put it off for a while, but that's okay. This is the first of many. And in partnership with our Cambridge brothers and sisters, we're going to continue to promote esports throughout our region. So take it away, my friend Siu-Li.
Thank you so much, Tuni, and thank you to Venture Café Providence and Venture Café Cambridge for helping us out with this. Couldn't have done it without a super amazing team. Amy, giving Amy a shout out. Amy, wave your hands. Yay. Amy is amazing. If you're ever thinking about these this programming here at Venture Cafe, highly recommend them. So these sessions are being recorded, so don't worry if you have to take a break. You'll be able to rewatch them. There's a Venture Cafe Providence YouTube channel that this all will be on.
I'll share it in the chat.
Awesome. And please do enter comments and questions in the chat. We're watching them. It's a full-on conversation, and we'll definitely also call on you to unmute if we have time in between the sessions to have those conversations. Know that at 2:30, we're also having breakout rooms, so people will be able to connect individually. We're really looking forward to that as well. So welcome to Thursday's Venture Cafe Providence main event. My name is Siu-Li Khoe, and I'm Vice President of Business Development at Rhode Island Commerce Corp. I focus on finance and tech and have the distinct pleasure of working with the esports industry. So before we get started, I wanted to give Hasbro, headquartered here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, for those of you who don't know, a quick PSA minute to welcome us and also to remind us that amongst the many games that are a part of the Hasbro family, Magic the Gathering is one that one of my son's personal favorites. Please welcome Carlos Dominguez, Director of Technology and Innovation at Hasbro.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for the awesome introduction. I'm very proud, to be part of the Rhode Island community and to be part of the Hasbro family. As everybody knows, Magic the Gathering, it's one of our brands run out of our Wizards of the Coast office. We're very excited. For those of you who follow, I'm sure you're very excited about the Zendikar Rising Championship coming up in 43 days. Yes. For those of you who haven't checked it out, anybody, you can download Arena. Play it for free and check out all the new packs, and it's something that I will admit I sometimes might spend too much time playing, but it's a lot of fun. Also, we have something brand new that a lot of you may not know, which is Beyblade is another one of our products that we make directly out of here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. We have an app, and for the first time we're actually running an esports invitational. We started last weekend, and this weekend is the finals. So it's a 2-day event. We'll be playing out the quarterfinals to see who moves on to the semis and the final. It's our first kind of like entry point into esports for Beyblade. But I will just say it's just the beginning, more to come. So tune in and let us know who your favorite Beybladers are. And I'm so excited for this. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining, and look forward to connecting and checking out all the amazing panels. Thank you for the opportunity again.
Hey, thanks so much, Carlos. Thanks for kicking us off. We hope that whether you're just curious or have already firmly committed to this industry, that you'll learn something, be inspired by someone, motivated to curate the community in New England with us. Thank you for being here.